here he's got to be down in this pit where there is no ladder for him to climb up. There is no rope for him to pull himself up. And not only is he in the pit, but there's no water in the pit. For those of you who in medicine know, you can live a long time with food, but you can't make it without water. And so he has nothing to sustain him. Not only is he in a pit with no water, but he's in a wilderness. He's in a barren place. He's in a dry place. It's bad enough I'm in a pit, but now I got a pit with no water. It's bad enough I got a pit with no water, but now I'm in a wilderness. There's no vegetation. There is no crop. There is no job. There is no welfare. There is no food stamps. Mama can't help me. Daddy can't help me. Friends can't help me. I'm in a mess, and I got to have faith to believe that God can bring me out of this. Is there anybody who's in a pit tonight? Many of us ain't shouting tonight because we're in pits. And you're afraid to let somebody know you're in a pit, but you'll never come out till you acknowledge, I'm in a pit. So now he's been forsaken by his brothers. Daddy, who could help him, don't know what's going on. And yet he has no water. And yet he's in a barren place, a dry place, and left by his brothers. How do I make it when the world has turned their backs? How do I make it when the rich man show up and I can't even answer the door? How do I make it when I think I'm losing my mind because of the pressures of life? How do I make it when every time I go to the store, I'm at a wishing store because I can't come out of nothing with it? How do I make it when I come to church and I pay my tithes and I give my offerings and I shout and look like the windows of heaven don't open up for me? Tell me how. You make it on memory. If you can just remember the last time you was in a jam like this and God brought you out. Well, if he paid the rent before, he'll pay it again. Well, if he opened up the windows of heaven before, he'll open them up again. Well, if I didn't have food before, he'll drop off food again. Look at somebody and say, remember. Third thing that you need if you're going to go from disaster to destiny, you got to have energy. Bishop said you can't be lazy. If you are going to sit down and cry about what you're in, you're not fit for destiny. If you're going to get swallowed up by the hell you're going in and the hell you're going through and the hell you've come out of, you're not fit for destiny, because destiny walkers change environments and not live in the environment. Anybody can shout when they get it, but can you shout when you don't have it? Anybody can declare he's Jehovah Jireh after the way been made, but can you declare he's Jehovah Jireh and they just took everything? Oh, you don't hear what I'm talking about tonight. God is using you to show himself, but he's trying to bring you into destiny. And you can't get there crying over what you're going through. So you got to have energy. Look at somebody, say energy, energy, energy. If you come with me to chapter 39, you will find that Joseph had some energy. We find in verse 1 through 6, we find here that Joseph was no longer in the pit. Joseph was brought out of the pit, but down to Egypt. He left from a pit and went into bondage. But yet even bondage was a blessing. That went right over somebody's head. God brought you out of a pit, and it looks like you're in a bound situation, but that's a blessing because you could have died in the pit. And Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian bought him out of the hands of the Ishmaelites, which had brought him down thither. And the Lord was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man. Let me stop right there, because somebody think that they're not prosperous because they don't have money. But the true sign of prosperity is not the money, it's not what you have, but who you have. Joseph was a slave, but the Bible declares he was prosperous. Now, how can a slave be counted with a prosperous man? Because God was working through the slave. He was not working through slavery, he was working through the person. And because God was with him, he was prosperous. I'm prosperous at the bus stop. I'm prosperous on MARTA. I'm prosperous in a cab. I'm prosperous in Walmart. I'm prosperous in Kmart. I'm prosperous. Look at three people and say, the Lord is with me. Oh, you didn't hear me. I said, the Lord is with me. If God is with me, that means Jehovah Sikkenu is with me, my righteousness. If God is with me when I'm sick, that means I got a healer with me. If God is with me when I'm down, I got somebody who can pick me up. He's everything I need. I say, God is with me. But what I like about this text, in verse 3, the Bible declares that the master saw the Lord was with him, which means even somebody who didn't serve God recognized God's hand is on me. See, when we can't see it, the enemy can see that we are blessed. And what they do, they say, oh, you sure got it going on. And we cancel out our blessings because we say, nah, this is just a little something. Stop saying that. If the enemy says you have it going on, open your mouth and say, ain't God good? If your family who can't stand you say, look like you keep going up, just say, ain't God good? Stop canceling out your blessings. Talking